So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Saturday. I hope you guys have had a good start to the weekend. And it was all crazy here as usual. Just before I was about to start the live stream, one of the lights stopped working. So then I put a new battery in it and it seems like we are light. Sometimes we have dark live streams. Sometimes it starts off light and then goes dark. But it looks like at the moment the lighting isn't too bad. But we will see how it progresses throughout tonight's live stream. Let me get you guys up on screen to see who is in the house tonight. And we have Lisa, Bonnie, Paul, Neil moderating in there. Robert, Tammy, Joni, Bob's going through. Cindy, Charlie, Chandra of the North, somebody else and somebody else. So hello everybody. Thank you. Welcome. If this is your first live stream, hello to you. Introduce yourself in that chat room. Maybe wait a few minutes before, if it ever calms down. I know that once we start talking about different topics, there are lots of comments about lots of different things, to be honest. This is pretty much just free reign that we have during the live streams on a Tuesday and a Saturday. We just see whatever pops up conversation-wise. Generally, it does... I was going to say it does ebb and flow, but some of the topics that we do get tend to flow us in a totally different direction, such as, I think last time, was it the stream before where we were talking about aliens and technology and all that kind of stuff and, Wi-Fi and how I didn't understand how that worked. But then I started to figure out that maybe it's something to do with the radio waves. But anyway, let's not go back to that. We will start afresh for tonight's live stream. And as always, get the names of my patrons up on screen because these people make this possible in the first place. Not only this, but everything that I do on the channel. So a massive shout out to these lovely people. You know who you are. If you want to get involved over on Patreon yourselves, head over to patreon.com/wings of Pegasus. There it is, the address if you want to message me or, see or actually request songs for the live streams, because we started with Haunted tonight, which I think maybe Carla requested over on Patreon. But tonight for the cover video, it's between Carry On Wayward Son and In My Dreams by Dokken. So you guys can check that out if you want to. That vote, it'll be at the top of your live chat room. You can click on whichever one of those you want and we'll have a listen to that later on in tonight's live stream. So, a few bits of news. First of all, we have just passed on the channel 288,000 subscribers. So, thank you everyone for subscribing, hitting that thumbs up, and just getting involved in general. Seeing you in the live streams is great as well, but just seeing you in the comment section of the videos is great to interact with you in that way, and just for watching and maybe hitting that thumbs up. And while I mention the thumbs up, let's have a look at tonight's likes goal for the live stream is 355. So if you can leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be fantastic in order to get us closer to that target of 355. It's definitely creeping up with the live streams. It is getting a little bit higher, closing in on 400, which is a crazy likes goal, and that's going to be not for a while, I think, but 355 is certainly a way up there. So we need every single thumbs up we can get. Let's see where we are with the likeometer now. I just want to make sure that this is going to show up on screen in the right place, because it does sometimes move, but I just moved it back before showing it. So 217. I just saw that it popped up there quickly. So thank you for hitting that thumbs up. I can see we're getting a spike of the likes going on. While I mentioned the spike of the likes, even though, this is technically the Saturday mug, the black one, and then we have, and there we have it. I was going to say, then we have the one on Tuesday, which just actually has the logo and says Spike the Likes on it. But any of the merchandise you want to get your hands on it, click on the tray underneath this video or the link in the description below, and that'll take you through to spring.com where all of the merchandise is, so you can check that out. Also wingsofpegasus.com/merch. That's where Carla's merch is for the earrings and Wings of Pegasus picks if you want to get some of those for your guitar playing. Also necklaces, all that kind of stuff you can check out over there. But for the t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, tumblers, caps, all of that kind of stuff, then head to spring.com. Link in the description below. Right. Now, it looks like on my screen, I mean, I can see that there have been some donations that have come through, so thank you guys so much for that. As I always say, you don't have to donate. Just watching the live stream is good enough for me, and maybe leaving a thumbs up, and yeah, maybe subscribing to the channel, getting involved. 288,000 is a little bit crazy. As I always say, we'll keep on pushing forward and see where we end up. But I can see that there have been some donations. So I just want to get this up on screen so you guys know the percentage splits of the donations that you make, even though you don't have to. But I know that some people can't resist. So between 35 and 45% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window. And between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal, I was going to say window, but it's a link in the description below if you want to do things via PayPal. So yeah, I mean, there is quite a dramatic, easy for me to say, there's quite a dramatic difference between the percentages of YouTube in the Super Chat window and the PayPal link and how PayPal do it. So yeah, that's up to you, but you don't have to donate. Right. Let's get another little bit of news. We had an analysis video, I was going to say on a particular day, but was that last night that we did George Michael? Everything just blends into one. I think it was last night that we did an analysis video on George Michael. In fact, now I remember that it was. And yeah, we had our friend of the channel, Phil Palmer, in the background playing acoustic guitar, which I did point out in that video. But a little bit of news is that I've been chatting to Phil actually yesterday and then today, and we might do something next week. It looks most likely to be next Friday, which means I'll be recording a video with Phil next Friday and most likely releasing that video on Sunday. And we're probably going to take a look at Phil performing with Eric Clapton, and probably from their Nebworth show where Phil actually takes over from Eric because he breaks a string and then he needs to kind of change that, and then Phil has to, take front and center stage for a solo that he wouldn't normally play. So we'll be going through that in exactly the same way that we go through the normal analysis videos. So I'll be having the guitar out, and I'm sure Phil can grab a guitar as well, and we'll go through exactly what he did during that performance. So yeah, that'll be a good one for most likely next Sunday. So that's something that has just popped up, and it was just off the back of that George Michael video because I just kind of sent over a message saying, by the way, you're in a video that I'm doing tonight. So, I mean, it's always great to see Phil in the background, and he does pop up quite a lot in the background of quite a lot of videos. So yeah, always cool to see Phil, but also to message him, catch up, see how things are doing with him. I mean, he's really busy at the moment, as he always is, playing, and I think he's got that book signing coming up, and that's in I think just a couple of weeks time now. So yeah, he's got the book signing, but also an evening with. So that's going to be in Camden in London, and I mean that'd be a great night as well. So if anybody's watching from the UK, you guys can grab your tickets for that. And like I said, I think that's probably 2 weeks time, something like that, and then 3 weeks for the book signing, if I remember correctly. Anyway, looking forward to doing that on Friday and releasing that on Sunday. Back into the donations window, because it looks like on the screen the ones that normally disappear have actually stayed there, because I can see Orlando's donation at 2:49 a.m. for $2, so thank you for that, Orlando. And the message was 19th like, spike the likes with lots of thumbs up, so thank you for that. And Orlando's been backed up here by Paul. Paul's donated $5. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message is 288,000 subscribers. Most excellent. with some thumbs up. Please spike those likes, all y'all. Let's have fun tonight, OSK. So thank you for that, Paul. And that stands for Orlando's Sidekick. So thank you for that, Paul. And Orlando, right at the beginning of the live stream, I think he tried to do it in the gap between being live and not being live, but they're all showing up at the moment. So hopefully that is something that's going to stick for the rest of the future, so that I don't have to keep going back to YouTube Studio to find the donations that happen before we go live. And yeah, Orlando donated $2. Again, thank you for that, Orlando. And the message is hello, everyone. And that's, I assume, meaning hello, everyone. So thank you. Everyone say a big hello to Orlando in the live chat room. And big shout out to the moderators in that live chat room for doing such a great job and keeping that community feel going. And you might have seen Neil go through there. We have Laurie as well, Susan and Dennis and Carla. So thank you guys for dedicating your time to the live streams and doing the moderating. You could just see Neil go through actually there in the live chat room. Their names are in blue and they have a wrench next to their name as well. So you can see where they are and who they are. I can see Carla and Susan and Dennis are about to go through as well. So there they go, moderators going through that live chat room. So Orlando's donated again, $5. Thank you for that. And the message is currently enjoying a dinner of ribs, full rack, French fries and beer. Hello again to everyone. So thank you for that, Orlando. And I think Orlando knows what he's doing. It's 18 minutes past midnight here in the UK, which means it's a very long time since I had my dinner. And tonight I actually had an early dinner. And this is going to, I mean, it's going to sound a bit rock and roll. It was just noodles and bread with butter. So this is one of my meals that I do go to when I'm in a rush. And I mean, generally, I'm always in a rush trying to complete things, organise things. Yeah, organise things for next week with Phil and, you know, doing a Google Meets call and organising diaries, all that kind of stuff. If I can have a quick meal, then I generally do try to do that. So, yeah, it was just noodles, which I think take between 3 and 5 minutes or something like that in a saucepan of boiling water. And yeah, just bread with butter. And I don't know whether this is a thing, but I'm sure that I heard this was a thing at some point, having some kind of either noodle sandwich or like a pasta sandwich or something that is similar to that, because that's effectively what I'm doing. Is I have the noodles and I have the bread and the butter. So the bread and the butter would be the sandwich, and they have the noodles on. Sometimes I do put it on the bread and eat it, but yeah, I do quite like that meal. The only problem is that it's not substantial. Just having a bit of bread and some noodles, it's not like a huge meal. So it means that by the time I get to 20 past midnight, I'm then quite hungry. And especially during these live streams, we have Orlando mentioning about the ribs, the French fries, the beer. I'm not too bothered about beer because I don't like the taste of alcohol generally. So yeah, I usually just have apple juice or grape juice, something like that, orange juice. Any juice pretty much is okay, but actually not, I don't think cranberry juice, I don't really have that very much, but yeah, grape juice I think is my go-to. So anyway, thank you for that, Orlando, for making us all feel a little bit hungrier than we did previously. Patrick has donated $20. I'm just making sure that's still on the screen, just going to scroll down a little bit. Because there have been some more, so thank you guys for the donations. I think another one just came in as well, so it's all moved up. But I'm going to have to scroll back to where I was. Patrick donated $20. Thank you for that, Patrick. The message is, Hola, Phil. Great to see you. Long time not here, but I hope you are well. Monday will be my 55th time around the sun, according to the calendar, but I only claim 29 years of age. Good to be here amongst old friends. So thank you for that, Patrick, and good to see you in the live stream tonight. And I think everybody pretty much, I don't know, it's difficult. I was going to say everybody stops at 29, but I don't know what, maybe this is a discussion you can have in the live chat room. At what point you feel like your brain got to where it is now? And I don't know, I feel like mine was maybe I don't know, maybe my early to mid 30s is how long I think it took my brain to get to a point where it was at the stage that it is now. Because I think that I was, and I always have been, learning, and you're trying to figure things out as an artist and as a musician, kind of professionally. My goal was always to try and do music full time. And, you know, I think when I got to my early 30s, I then started to appreciate more about, I guess, what music is and how everybody's different. And, you know, don't get hung up on things that you can't do, because if you're trying to do something that somebody else is doing, then you're copying them. And I think, you know, now I kind of have got this acceptance that it's all about just being yourself and doing what you do well, because you'll be able to do that better than anybody in the world, because there's only one of you. And I think, especially with the analysis videos, interacting with some of the musicians that I have featured on the channel, this is something that they all have in common. So it's only reinforced that belief that I had, or that understanding that I came to myself, that by talking to great musicians, great guitarists and great singers, they all do this. They're not really focusing on anybody else's career. They're just doing what they do and, you know, hoping that people like it. But if they don't, then it doesn't really matter, because they're just doing what they do and having fun while doing it, which is the most important thing. So, yeah, I don't think I really grasped that until, you know, probably, post 30 age-wise. So, yeah, artistically, that's kind of where I think my brain kind of had a little bit of a shift. And I know for a fact that, in my early 20s and mid 20s, you know, I was still going around to, I think in my early 20s, still going around to record labels, and then mid 20s to late 20s, still going around to radio stations, doing all of that kind of stuff, still gigging as much as possible. And then, once you mature, I think if anything, you start to really, I don't know, either hone your craft, or I think it's more than that, because artistically you're always doing that, you know, playing live and, you know, practicing playing the guitar, all that kind of stuff is something that you should be doing anyway as an artist to get yourself to a particular point where you can put across your music the best way. But I think it was just really focusing in on the way to do things, or the most effective way to do things, and the most efficient use of your time, or what to spend your time on doing to make as big a success of what you're doing as possible. Because there are plenty of things, and maybe by the time you get to your 30s, you've done everything, so you're more likely to have eradicated everything that doesn't work, to then find the thing that does work. And maybe that's just it. It's just a natural evolution of time, that the older you are, the more likely you are to succeed, because you've tried every way that doesn't work. And I mean, that reminds me of a saying, but I can't remember what it is. And it might be something like, it might be Edison about the light bulb. I'm not sure. Or maybe I'm getting everything confused. But it's something like, he said, I found like 10,000 ways that didn't work, or something like that. But that was needed to find the one that did work, because you've only got to find the one that works once. You know, that is it. I don't know whether that's the right quote or not, but I'm sure some people can look that up on the internet or let me know in the live chat room. But that's it. Yeah, maybe it's just a case of the longer you keep doing it, eventually you will get there, because you'll find the way to work. You'll find something that does work, but I think you just work a lot more efficiently over the years. So anyway, thank you for that, Patrick. Ron has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Ron. And the message is, my Kansas State basketball is rocking. So thank you for that. I'm not sure whether that is actually is meant. I was meant to say my, or it's state. So Kansas state, or Kansas State. So maybe it was my, because Kansas is I think Kansas is a state, or at least Kansas State basketball certainly sounds like it is implying that. So thank you for that, Ron. And Tordo Porco in the house donating $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, rest in peace, Tom Verlaine of the band Television. Sadly, another influential guitarist gone too soon. So thank you for that. And yeah, I mean, it has been a very difficult start to the year 2023, sadly, but thank you for letting us know about Tom in that particular comment. Jan has donated 200 Norwegian kroner as well, so thank you for that, Jan. And it's got a picture of a guy, I think maybe skidding on his knees, and goal in there as well, so thank you for that. Something that I'm sure my nephews practice in the garden, certainly by the look of my sister's garden. They practice sliding on their knees, so I think that's maybe what that guy was doing. But the animation has stopped now, so I can't see whether that's what happened. But thank you for that, Jan. And Pandemic Pat has donated $10 as well, so thank you for that, Pat. The message is, I think I'm confusing everyone with my comments. Bee Gees' last album together was This Is Where I Came In, released April 24th, 2001. The album is great, but doesn't get the love it deserves. So thank you for that, Pat. Obviously referencing something in the live chat room. And I know that there have been donations in the PayPal window as well. Thank you for that, guys. I will get through all of them throughout the live stream. So I do say, and I did say, that you don't have to donate, but thank you very much for these very kind donations. The first one I'm just going to reference is for £10, and this came from Robert. So thank you for that, Robert. And that was on Thursday at 1 p.m. And that's in the afternoon, obviously, unless you don't know your AMs and your PMs, but 1,300 hours. So thank you for that, Robert. And there was another one that came in from Michael at 11 on Friday. So thank you for that, Michael. And that was for £5. And there was a £5 donation as well that came through from Sid. And that was at 5:55 in the evening. I don't think... Well, 5:55, does that count as afternoon still, or is it evening? I'm going to go with evening. So thank you for that, Sid. And there's another one that came through, and this is from Megan, or Megan. Thank you for that, and it's for £100. So a very kind donation there. Or it might have been a slip on the, certainly something that I do all the time, either on your phone or your tablet or your touch screen, whatever you're using. Actually, even just typing on a keyboard happens all the time. So thank you for that. If it was a mistake, don't worry. We can organise that through PayPal. It's no problem at all. But thank you for that, Megan. And I'm just going to go to the next one. This is from Nicole for £10 and 1 pence. So thank you for that, Nicole. The message is, hi Phil, bonsoir. With my support, I'm sending you two better thoughts, and to get thoughts the winter, caution and good health, Phil. Have a nice weekend. Kisses from France. So thank you for that, Nicole. And yeah, I mean, weather-wise, it hasn't been as bad. It's, I think, over the last week and a half, it's been down about -4, and then it was -7. But then today, I think, has been above freezing. So yeah, it's not too bad, and hopefully, I think it's starting to get a little bit more kind of average, a little bit more like a normal temperature for this time of year. So it'll be around 6 or 7 degrees, like above freezing, which is a lot better. So thank you for that, Nicole. And Tammy has donated £10. Thank you for that, Tammy. And the message is, hi Phil, congratulations on hitting 288,000 subscribers. What role do you think music plays in society as a whole? Rock. So thank you for that, Tammy. And I think the great thing about music is it plays whatever role you want it to. And personally, you know, it does so many different things for different people. You know, even just playing an instrument is such a huge part of people's lives when they do take up playing an instrument. Even for kids, it can, you know, help with their brain development. And yeah, I think music actually playing instruments, it is great. It does so much for the people that are learning. It kind of helps your brain to focus and to learn things in a different way, but also then appreciate music on a deeper level. And the great thing about playing the guitar is that it's such a unique set of, muscle memory and, fine motor skills that you need in order to do it. It means that you're not going to be doing that in any other walk of life. You never have to hold a bar chord shape with your hand unless you're playing guitar. So it means that, you can learn to play left-handed, you can learn to play right-handed. It doesn't matter how you start, whatever's most comfortable. And you can just start. Everybody starts in the same place. That's the other great thing about guitar, is that pretty much nothing, maybe playing the violin, if you've come from that, or playing ukulele, then that's going to cross over. Because, playing violin is very much, or fiddle, if you're talking about folk music, country music. But playing violin is a similar thing, muscle memory wise. It means that you're just changing the angle of your hand, but holding down a string and pushing it down in order to get a note. That'll all cross over to guitar, and vice versa if you play the guitar and then start playing violin. The only thing is that, on violin, you don't have frets. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult from that side of things, because it's not going to be as easy as playing a guitar. And it's going to be a shorter neck, so you have to be even more precise. But not that I've attempted to play violin, but I already know from playing guitar and looking at a violin and watching the way that it's played that it is going to be, a lot trickier. So the muscle memory will cross over, but it's going to have to be even more precise. So on the whole, as a generalization, I think music is something that can bring people together. It doesn't matter what country you're from, people can listen to a song and they can enjoy it, and it doesn't even matter what nationality the band are that are playing it. And you can even listen to music in different languages, and I've analysed songs on the channel that might be in a different language, like when we've looked at classical music and opera, and the fact that they're most likely going to be in Italian, but you might not understand what the person's saying, but you still appreciate it musically, and it still kind of hits a chord with you, no pun intended. But it brings people together. It can lift your mood. It can actually bring down your mood as well if the subject of the song is something that's a little bit kind of depressing, and the world is like that sometimes. But it just plays such a huge role in people's lives, and is one of those things that will bring people together. And it's also different too. You could argue that there are sports that bring people together, like football, or soccer as it's called in the USA. It's something that is very much pushed here in the UK, that football brings everybody together, it brings communities together, but to a point, because then you have supporters of a team. So you've now got your football team, and then they can have a rival team, and even though you're in the same country, sometimes even in the same place, like my team Tottenham, or the team that I support called Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur, they have rivals that are in North London as well called Arsenal, but they're in the same place. And I was thinking about this because it is like, I was going to say a severe rivalry, but it is really, they take it really seriously. And when Tottenham play Arsenal, it's always a heated game, really hard tackles going in, injuring each other, all that kind of stuff. But the other thing is, a lot of the fans in the crowd are of a generation where they don't even know why there is this rivalry between the teams. And I think I kind of know about it. It's because Tottenham used to be in North London. They were the team for North London, but then Arsenal moved their ground to North London. So it was like, oh, this is our patch. What are you doing here? And that's why there's this kind of argument way back in the day. But that was ages ago. So most supporters now have got a grudge against a team, and they don't really know why they've got a grudge against this team. And, this is why I think music is great, because you don't have, I mean, even though they try and make it up, and you know, especially in the UK, they try to, you know, with Britpop, you had Blur and Oasis, who were two bands that, oh, we like this music and, you know, you like that music. And, you know, a similar thing actually in the 60s, where you had one section that were into, I mean, you could argue that, yeah, they were into the Who and the edgier kind of music, and, you know, other people might have been into, you know, the Beatles, or, you know, that, I don't know how to describe it, but it was something here like mods and rockers. I don't know whether this is something that's carried over into other countries, but you had the mods and you had the rockers. So it was, depending on which music you liked, it really did determine how you dressed, what you looked like, and you could tell, who the mods were, you know. So yeah, I mean, this is going back well before my time, so I'm just going on, you know, what I've read and the scene, and, you know, my mum and dad, and having heard about it. But this thing about music, I don't think it ever got to the point of violence, whereas that, you know, is sometimes the case, sadly, with football, that you can have that rivalry, and it's something that doesn't cross over into music, because you can have a band that might be, yeah, from the USA, from the UK, and you can be into them, and you are not from that country, whereas whenever there's a football World Cup, you know, England supporters support England, you know, you don't support another country. So yeah, it is a little bit divisive in that way. So anyway, I don't know what led me down that. What role music plays in society. Thank you for that, Tammy. So, yeah, got down a little bit of a rabbit hole there. So, thank you for that. And Steve has donated £5. Thank you for that, Steve. And the message is, why is standard tuning EADGBE instead of just something like ABCDEF? So, thank you for that, Steve. So, okay, right. Tuning on the guitar, I mean, standard tuning, I mean, to my knowledge, just became standard tuning because of the playability, the ease of playing guitar chords, for example. So, I tell you what, I'm going to quickly grab the guitar so I can show you how, I mean, if you don't play the guitar, how we play a chord. So, because of the tuning of the strings, it means that I can play a shape on my guitar, which, you know, looks like this, and this is just going to be an E chord, like that. Now, if I want to play an F, all I need to do is move that shape up and bring the bottom of the guitar with the shape. So it means that if I want to play the F, this, if I move it down, move it up, and with every new fret you go to, you get a new chord. And this is only possible because of how the guitar is tuned. So it means that you can play chords, but then when you're playing a minor pentatonic shape 1, let's take that in A minor. Now, when I want to play that shape, I don't have to go anywhere to play that. It's still within the shape that I'm playing, you know. And yeah, if you are kind of playing through the minor scale, that's all in place as well. So the way that the guitar's tuned, if it was tuned any differently, it means that you'd have to start kind of moving around to get the notes, not only to play lead guitar, but you'd have to move your hand to try and get a standard chord, you know. And this A major chord, you know, we can have the 3 octaves of it as well, you know. So those are your octaves throughout 3. So if you just had like A, B, C, D, E, F would just be impossible to play chords to, because you wouldn't be able to stretch your hand in that way. It would be really awkward. The lead notes wouldn't be really accessible, and it's just E, A, D, G, B, E is just the most convenient way to tune your guitar to give you access to the most notes in chord shapes and in lead shapes, because they will cross over. So hopefully that's explained it. And I mean, there are obviously different tunings that you can make for your guitar, and it just means that you're playing the guitar or playing your guitar in a different way depending on the tuning. But if you imagine that even with a bar chord, having this first finger across, that same fret, if the high E string and the B string weren't tuned as they are, it means that you wouldn't be able to get the top two notes of your chord. You'd have to move your first finger either, down, and you moving it up. If you had to try and find them there, it wouldn't work either. And I mean, generally, I play the root note with my thumb. But if you're playing the bar chord with that first finger all the way across, it means that you'd have to try and now play the thumb and the first finger, or get the first finger over. It'll be, a lot more awkward. So anyway, that's, to my knowledge, why it's just an ease of chords and lead. It just makes the most sense. And there's a reason that it caught on and that everyone started using it and then it became standard, because it is the easiest way to have access to as much as you can with a chord and with scales and with everything that you need for playing rhythm and lead. So anyway, thank you for that, Steve. I'm just going to have this on my lap rather than putting it away and knocking everything out. This is it, because I've got, mugs on the desk and getting the guitar from behind me. Generally, if I try and put it down and then pick it up again, I smack everything and everything goes flying. But we will keep this here because, maybe we'll have the Phil Jam later on. And when I say later on, it's already 43 minutes past midnight. So we will be jumping into that soon. Let's have a look at the vote. At the moment, Carry On Wayward Son has 69% of the vote. So looks like we're probably going to be having a look at that one. And, I mean, that is an old video. I don't know when I made that. You'll probably be able to tell. Well, not only from me looking a lot younger, but in the kind of style of video as well. I think I just set up the camera, stood there, and just did maybe one angle, maybe two angles, I can't remember. I started to add more angles as the years progressed. But thank you for that, Steve. Right, let me just move on because Carl donated £5 as well. Thank you for that, Carl. And this is Cross the Pond, just to keep the dream alive. So thank you for that, Carl. The Cross the Pond Fund. And, I mean, with my lights, I'm going to one of them was flickering. I don't know why. And the battery said that it was full, but then it was flickering and it was actually duller than the new battery that I put in. So maybe it's a case of some new batteries I need and not lights. These lights seem to be okay. And I think we're pretty much still light at the moment, which is good. At least it looks all right on the screen. Right, we will be having the pick roulette later on as well. Let's mention that. So stay tuned for that. How are we doing on our likes? Good timing. Checking out the likes goal, 355. As I said it, that's the best timed likes goal mention I've ever done. Actually saying it, and it happened. So thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. Of course, you can keep on doing that. Keep on hitting that thumbs up if you haven't hit it so far throughout the live stream, because it really does help this live stream to get out there a little bit more and for the channel to grow on the whole. So if you're watching this on catch up as well in the future, hello in the future, and if you could hit that thumbs up, that would be fantastic. Right, let's bring this vote to a close. End poll over there. And I'm pretty sure that it's not going to get reversed, because 68% is actually quite a high majority when we talk about the cover videos. Sometimes it's really close, like 51% to 49%. But here we have it, and it is, Carry On Wayward Son has 68% of the vote. So we will jump into this. Obviously, it's my version of it, so I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys after. Rock! Okay, Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas. Let's do this. Rock! Carry on my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest, don't you cry no more.
rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion. I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high. Though my eyes could see, I still was a blind man. Though my mind could think, I still was a madman. I hear the voices when I'm dreaming. I can hear them say, carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more. Oh no. Masquerading as a man with a reason, my charade was the event of the season. If I claim to be a wise man, it surely means that I don't know. On a stormy sea of moving emotions, tossed around I'm like a ship on the ocean. I set the course for winds of fortune, but I hear the voices say, carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more. Carry on, you will always remember. Carry on, nothing equals a splendor. Now your life's no longer empty. Surely heaven waits for you. Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
And there we have it. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. My version of the Kansas classic. And thank you guys for voting for that particular song tonight. That cover video. Right, we are going to be jumping into the pick roulette. But before we do that, I think there have been some more donations. So thank you guys for these. And it is Lisa A who donated $20. So thank you for that, Lisa A. And the message is, hiya Phil. I feel so happy being here with everyone. It's like a big family gathering with fun and a few bigger personalities in the mix. I take it all in fun. I love the fun banter, usually over food, between you and Orlando. So thank you for that, Lisa A. And yeah, I mean, the live chat room is a great place to be on a Saturday night and a Tuesday night, because that's when we do our live streams, 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time. And if it is your first live stream, hello to you. Introduce yourself to everyone in the live chat room. Right, Jan has donated 50 Norwegian kroner. Thank you again for that, Jan. The message is, you have to Kansas, Kansas to watch it go bye-bye. So thank you for that, Jan. And Orlando then donated $5 and said, I thought of Depeche Mode when thinking of this question. Do you feel synthesizers and electronic sounds have a place in hard rock or heavy metal? So thank you for that, Orlando. Good question in that I used to have a was it a Roland GR20, I think, on my guitar. And Griff, who was in the band, had one on his guitar, which was an early form of turning your guitar signal into MIDI information. So it means that you could play your guitar and I can see that Jan's just gone through with another donation, 50 Norwegian kroner. Thank you for that, saying thanks for canvassing Kansas. So yes, I wasn't sure what that meant the first time, but thank you for that, Jan. And yeah, thank you for that donation again. And yeah, the GR20, I'm not sure whether that's what it's called, but anyway, it meant that we could play, piano parts and kind of synth parts, because we didn't have a, keyboard player in order to actually get these instruments live. So we did them with our guitars. The only problem was that the technology was quite early in its development. So it meant that when you went, from one fret to the next, it might accidentally not play the right note, or even just moving along a string, you might get an accidental harmonic. Say for example, you're about to, play the 7th fret, and you're playing, a B minor 7th, and you might get that, which will be just before you put your hand down and apply the pressure. You might get a harmonic that you didn't want, so the note kind of turns into that. Now, it only had to happen for a split second, but that would trigger a note that you didn't want as part of your chord. So yeah, it was a bit temperamental, but obviously nowadays the technology's moved on, and it's going to be a lot more accurate. I don't have anything that is turning my guitar into anything like that. It's not something that I have the need for currently. We did kind of back in the day, but yeah, at the moment I just do everything on the keyboard here, and I can just get the sound directly. If I want to, say for example, the covers, for the cover video, there'll be very particular sounds that make it sound like the song, so I would do that all on the keyboard rather than kind of doing it on guitar, because it's just a lot easier to do it with keys rather than trying to turn your guitar into a keyboard or a piano. But I'm sure the technology now exists, and it's going to be a lot better than it was, I'm trying to think how many years ago, 15 years ago, maybe more than that. So yeah, technology would have definitely moved on where it's going to be a lot more accurate, and I'm sure now I could buy something that would give me MIDI information through my guitar, and I wouldn't have to do it on the keyboard. So yeah, but it's just something that, because the keyboard is literally just out of shot on the right hand side of the screen, or on my right hand side, your left hand side, it's just a lot quicker just to jump over and do things over there. So thank you for that donation, Orlando. And I think absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with that kind of thing in hard rock or metal, or just any kind of heavy genre. Generally, you will have strings or even synthesizer sounds that are filling in a lot of the sound for heavier genres of music. So yeah, absolutely fine by me. And Jan then donated saying thanks for canvassing Kansas, which we did have a look at. So thank you for the donations in that super chat window tonight, and in the PayPal window we are going to be jumping into tonight's pick roulette. So brace yourselves for this. I will jump into it now and see you guys in a second. Rock. So let's get the wheel up on screen, and there it is. Now, I do believe we have 2 wheels tonight, because there was one that was missed previously in a live stream. So we will be doing this twice tonight. If this is your first live stream and you haven't seen a pick roulette before, the darker segments here are the t-shirts. If we land on one of those, then we have a t-shirt roulette. But if we land on somebody's name, then they go away with a signed Wings of Pegasus pick. Now, I don't have a top tip for tonight, so I'm going to have a quick look into the live chat room to see if we have a top tip in there. And Nalita said, you can pick me. So I'm going to pick Nalita as the top tip. So let me make a note of the name. Nalita is the top tip for tonight. Right, for the first spin of the night, let's see who is going to win. And you have to be in it to win it. So make sure you are tuning in when the pick roulette happens, because yeah, you have to be in the live chat room using the username. That's also important, using the username that the pick roulette lands on, rather than saying, oh yeah, no, that's my other account, so I want to win with this name that I'm using here. So yeah, make sure you're using the same account. And we are slowing down. Unfortunately, I can't see Lolita's name anywhere close. Is it going to be Bang Bang Drummer? It is indeed Bang Bang Drummer, who is the winner tonight. Congratulations to you. If you can let yourself be known to Carla in that live chat room, that would be much appreciated, so that she can get everything that she needs from you to get that signed Wings of Pegasus pick sent off to you. So congratulations, commiserations to everybody else, including Nolita, but we are going to be having another wheel. So there's another opportunity to win, and maybe even do, maybe even get a winner for the top tip, because I'm going to keep Nolita as the top tip. Right, let me just make sure that I'm clicking on the right thing. Here we go. Here's the other wheel. It is spinning, which is a good sign. Right, so good luck, everybody. Again, second wheel of the day. Let's give it a spin and see who's going to be the second winner tonight. So I'm just looking into the live chat room to see if Bang Bang Drummer is there, and I can see that yes, Bang Bang Drummer says wow, thanks. And there are a couple of snares, it looks like. It's a bit small on my screen. I'm assuming those are, yeah, a couple of snares or drums, rather than a couple of cakes with candles in, which it also kind of looks like. Right, we are slowing down. We have our second winner coming up. It's going to be Lillian, or is it going to get as far as Mimi? It's Lillian who's the winner of the second pick roulette wheel tonight. So congratulations to you, Lillian. If you can let yourself be known to Carla, that would be great, so that she can get all of the details that she needs to send you that signed Wings of Pegasus pick. So commiserations everybody else who didn't win tonight, including Nolita. Our first ever top tip winner is still yet to happen, but hopefully at some point it will happen in the future. Who knows? As I always say, double your chances of winning by tuning in on a Saturday night and a Tuesday night, because we do have a pick roulette every single time that we hit the goal for that particular live stream that we have the week before. So because we've hit the goal tonight, we're going to be having a pick roulette next Saturday. So for Saturday night's pick roulette, and if you want to get your name on it, this is what you have to do. Tag Carla Murray in your comment and type I agree, exclamation mark, optional, exclamation mark, and then your name will be added to next week's pick roulette wheel. So just copy what I've done in that live chat room, but also I think what a lot of other people are about to do. So I can see that yes, people are starting to do that, just going through. And yeah, Bonnie says Phil jam time. We have the guitar, and I do have the window open, or at least I do have the message open from, at least I did have the message open from Joe with the list of tracks that we have been working our way through. I remember the last one was the time signature one, which was a little bit, I'm trying to find, where did I get this message? So let me just scroll up. I think what I'm going to do is, once I get to it, I'm going to message Joe again so that it moves the message a little bit. Here we go. Yeah. Oh yeah, so this one is tricky. 11-8 as the time signature from the last one. So I'm going to just say to get, I can't even type properly, to get the message to the top, exclamation mark. So I'm going to send that. So don't worry about this, Joe. I'm just sending you a message over on Patreon so that it goes to the top of the inbox, because obviously every message that I get on Patreon, once I get a message and then I get another message, the previous message goes down. And because this is what, I don't know when this was from, but maybe a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago, so it means that the message has gone quite a long way down. But I've found it, And let me scroll back up. Now the written message is going to the bottom. Right. Okay, let's have a click on this one. And we have an advert. So I'm going to wait for the advert to finish. This is all time for you guys to enter in for next week's Pick Roulette. So make sure you do that in that live chat room. And we can skip it. Right. And we are on Now You Shred. I think we've had this before. Now You Shred backing/jam tracks. So that is the YouTube channel that you guys can go and check out if you want to. If you want to pick up your guitar and jam along yourselves. And this is this is, by the way, from the prog rock list. I think that Joe sent, I think it's like maybe the 4th one down on that list. So I'm getting this little prompt saying, now would be a good time to insert ads. So I don't know if that's true or not. I tell you what, because I might try this. I mentioned about my meeting with YouTube and the person that I spoke with, and they're saying about putting mid-roll ads on everything. I'm going to try just again as an experiment. I'm going to click on this dollar thing. It's $1 is what it shows, and it says insert ad. So I'm just going to click on this and see if it's like we had last time where it didn't actually insert an ad, and we're still trying to work out exactly what happened. So I'm going to click on it in 3, 2, 1, click. And the good thing is that I could hear the Pick Roulette music still going on in the background. So, I mean, that's a good thing about putting in the advert, because I went quiet for a little while. But I didn't see an advert on my side. I don't know whether you guys saw an advert. So you can let me know, maybe just in the live chat room, but also, enter in for next week's Pick Roulette. Right, let's get this going. The mix is going to be totally random. As to, whether it's going to be good or not, I do not know. And I'm a little bit close to the screen. I can't really move back very much. So, it's going to be a little bit awkward, but we'll give this a go and see what it sounds like. Okay, it's 5.5 minutes, so it's not a very long one. Sounds like we have a nice little change. I'll try and catch it the next time round. There it was, that little kind of throwing it in a little bit, not jazzy, but getting a little bit different with it. Okay, type I agree, tag Carla in your comment to get your name on next week's Big Roulette Wheel. I know that this is going to be a short backing track. I'm waiting for it to... Oh, we've still got like 30 seconds. And that's the end. So quite a short backing track. That's a shame because that was quite a nice backing track. And then I was starting to kind of get into a little bit of, you know, the into a little bit of the tapping as well. So yeah, lots of scope for experimentation over the top of that one. So anyway, thank you, Joe, of course, for sending me the list of backing tracks. That was, yeah, quite a short one, but we made our way through it. And it's still 1:10 here, so we still got a little bit of time left. I'll tell you what, I'm going to play a little bit of... I'm just going to pursue the avenue that I started to right at the end of that. Just to see where it takes me. So I'll just take it back by, what, a minute and a half. And there we had it. I think that was a better ending than I did before, because I ended at the right time. So anyway, yeah, it's a bit of a... I mean, it's great that sometimes a backing track, you think, oh, you know, it kind of makes you want to go in particular places, especially with that kind of change that we had at the end, where you can get, a little bit different with it. But, you know, fundamentally, we're just kind of in E minor as well. So, you know, I'd say relatively, actually, a very easy key to be playing in. I think most guitarists start jamming in E minor, and yeah, most blues progressions are in E when you're playing on the guitar. Very easy to, you know, jump. You know, I mean, it's all going to be starting around in E, and then wherever you move it, B. You know, everyone starts. Actually, that was the first thing I ever learned. I just reminded myself. That's the first thing I ever learned on the guitar was, and I didn't even know what I was doing, but my dad said to me, oh, put your first finger on this note and then put your other finger, I think I might have just moved my first finger up actually, but put your other finger on that note and then hit these two strings together. And of course I couldn't palm mute at that time, so I was just going. And he said the great thing about it is if you can look at your right hand and make sure that you just go down one string, you can then move it down. Kind of like that. But the only problem is that that's as far as I ever got, because in order to move it up, you'd have to play the B and do that stretch with like almost that kind of bar chord position. So that's definitely something that my hands would never have been able to do. What he should have told me is starting in A, going over to the D, because then you can go E, D, A. You know, and you can play through a whole blues at least, even though, you know, you have to go down to the E, so it sounds a little bit odd. But, you know, yeah, then I would have been able to go through the whole thing. So, yeah, just a note for my dad that teaching. And I mean, the thing is, it didn't do any harm, because I didn't really learn to play guitar. That's all I knew how to do on that instrument was, oh, do you put your finger there and put your finger there? I think it's probably maybe a year or two later that I actually then started to want to properly play and heard Jimi Hendrix and thought, oh, I want to sound like that, you know, rather than just sounding like having two strings playing at the same time. And that's as far as it went. So anyway, 1:15 now, so we are going to be bringing things to a close for tonight's live stream. And if you haven't entered in for next week's Pick Roulette, then you've probably left it a little bit late, but you might have a few extra seconds because Cheryl donated $25. So thank you for that, Cheryl. This has a different message underneath it. It says, celebrate the first super chat from Cheryl Hurst. So thank you for that, Cheryl, her first ever super chat donation. So it is massively appreciated. As I always say, you don't have to donate, but they are much appreciated. So thank you guys for your donations in that super chat window and over in that PayPal window as well. And I can see that there has been another one that went through, and that was from Betty for £38.65. So thank you for that, Betty. And thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. We will be live streaming again on Tuesday night. I'm aiming to put out a video tomorrow night as well, so look out for that. Make sure you're subscribed so that you get all of the notifications. Hit the bell as well to get all of the notifications for when I release a video, when I'm streaming, which is always on a Saturday night and a Tuesday night, 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time. But then also to get notified for videos like the one that I'll do on Friday and release on Sunday. So that'll be next Sunday, so not tomorrow, but next Sunday with Phil Palmer, where we'll go through his performance with Eric Clapton. So yeah, we'll do that next week. I'll be here tomorrow night, but have a great rest of the weekend. Stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. And yeah, I will catch you guys at the next one. Rock!